Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2014. I'm sitting down with Jake Lehman. How are you?
Good, how are you?
A VG3 game, VG3. No, V3G.
It is a tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister, yes.
V3G games. Absolutely.
And you have brought us, this is still a prototype copy,
Correct.
yes?
Yeah,
of
this is Strife. So we brought Strife to Gen Con. We're premiering it here. We're selling actually a preview edition. We're going to kickstart the full game in October. So we're prepping for that and getting it out here, and it's already a couple hours in, and we've had a great reception so far. So we're super excited about it. You want me to tell you a little more about the
Absolutely, please.
General overview? Okay, so Strife is a two-player strategy game. It is not like a CCG or LCG. This is more of a small game with a lot of depth. So it's a real intense strategy game where you're playing not just to figure out your own abilities and what order to play them in, but really trying to figure out what your opponent's going to do. In some ways, a mindset kind of like chess or something like that, where it's you know all the moves that are available, but what is he going to do? Then what do I need to do if he does that? So there's a lot of like that mental anguish in here on picking things. Because the way it works is the story of Strife is, it's called technically Strife, Legacy of the Eternals, and you are an Eternal. So that means we're both immortals. And in this world,
Awesome.
in this world of Aram,
I like how this is starting out.
Yep. So we are all powerful, and we really can't die unless we kill each other. So we can kill each other, but there's so few of us left that we've stopped doing that. What we do instead is we use champions from the land that we recruit and fight our battles for us.
Oh, minions! All right,
yes,
fantastic.
Exactly. So in this world, we all have the same types of people available to us. So that means in the gameplay, we each have a deck in our hand at all times of 10 champions. So we have 10 champions, power level 0 through 9. That's that number in the upper left. So these champions will do our fighting for us. What's cool about a champion, and I can use this monk as an example, is every champion has two abilities. A battle ability, which is the topmost ability, and then a legacy ability, which is the bottommost ability. And so the way this game works in phases is there's a battle phase and a legacy phase, which is that bottom ability, and then combat actually resolves. So what that means is you're setting up an intricate chain of combos, because every character has two abilities, but they only use once per phase, if you will. So how that works in application is when they're fighting, they get their top one. After that combat is resolved and we're all done with that turn, if you will, those characters then come over to your legacy pile, which is kind of like a discard pile, except whatever's on top, his legacy ability is active. So even in death, they lend power to the next fighter. So there's an intricate chain of what do I need to play now for its ability now, and then its ability next turn, and what do I want to chain that? So there's a lot of like ability combo chaining in this game. A round typically takes 15 to 20 minutes. A full game is 3 rounds. So you can play this game 45 minutes to an hour once you're familiar with the abilities. There is a lot of thought that needs to be played the first time you play, so we've got a beginner's mode in the rules that makes it a little simpler just to get through the mechanics of the game, and then you can start really thinking about all the combos and abilities.
Now, just to pause you for a second.
Sure.
Now, who did the artwork? Because this is
this
spectacular.
it is. I'm in love with this art. So it's a guy named Jonathan Powell. He is a college student that I found on one of the, I think conceptart.org. And he was just looking for work, and I loved his style. And what we're really trying to do with a small game like this, when we're using such classic characters as necromancers and druids and barbarians and stuff, I really wanted an artist who had a different take. Like, I didn't want it to look like every other game's knight and every other game's barbarian or whatever. So we really wanted, and he's got a really rough, textury style of painting that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of the way this looks from the not only the art side but the graphic design side as well.
Can you splay those out in the middle?
Oh,
Sure.
absolutely. Here.
Yeah, here, we'll get them all out. You can see all the beautiful characters we've got. Tried to really theme them well and give the kind of world a unique, cohesive look. So,
Yeah, it's
the world
definitely. You can tell it's the same guy who
Yeah,
did
it's
that.
gritty, it's textured, it's rough.
There we
you
go.
So yeah, there's all the cards, and they have some pretty cool abilities.
Yeah, it's
and each
gorgeous.
character really, we try to build abilities that fit the character. So the necromancer, he messes with your discard pile and brings stuff back to life and gains power from death. Things like the knights are on horses and they're mobile, so he moves around the locations. And so they are themed to their characters. So it's a really it's a game that is really, really high on the theme. But at the same time, it is a full strategy game. So it is not it is not light on strategy. I mean, it's got a lot of strategy when you get into it. But the mechanics are real simple, so it's easy to play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have like 90% of what I need to know.
You probably do.
To
Yeah,
get going.
The actual mechanics take about 5 minutes, and then it's the intricacies of how the abilities work that takes the thought, if you will. Do you want me to run you through a sample sequence?
Yeah, let's just do, because I'm guessing since we have 3 locations
Yeah.
here, that this is sort of our,
there's a location deck
our
that starts
battleground here.
Correct. Starts with 3 locations out. You're always fighting at the far end from the location deck. So we're fighting over the Pit of Souls. The Pit of Souls is the Necromancer's home, so he lives in this scary-looking keep. And each location has an ability. So if a Necromancer was to fight here, he would get a bonus. Sometimes these are very helpful, and other times they are traps. You don't want to waste that character on that time, because there's a victory point spread on these cards that's even, and we both know it. Again, it's a perfect information game, so nothing in this game is a secret except what character I play. So we're always going to know what's here, what's coming up. 1s are obviously the least victory points, 4 is the highest. So you know, like, hey, do we really want to waste our great character or this really good ability right now, or do I want to save it for this 3? So there's that kind of thought as well. But the simple way to do it is we're going to have a legacy champion and a battle champion. So for the first turn of the first round, you actually have to pick both. It's the only time you have to pick both.
Right, because then
from then on, it'll always
roll over
it'll
to the next one.
From
Yeah,
round to round.
That makes sense.
For right now, let's just grab one that looks
I'll
cool,
just,
and here, we'll put them over here. So our legacies we'll put over here. And then I would
we'll
pick a battle
say,
one, and I'll just do...
Oh, let's do that one.
I'll just do that. Okay, so now we reveal our legacies. We've got a ranger and a druid, and then we reveal our battle. Boom. Knight and a paladin. All right. I always say that wrong, so I'm glad I got it right. All right, so the only other mechanic in the game is the Fate Stone. This is our way we break ties. So if there's a tie for what ability activates first, or who wins a fight in the final power levels, Fate Stone decides the tie, but not in the way you might think. Whoever holds this loses all ties. And that's key in the game, because it can be an advantage at times because you don't want your ability to trigger first, but if you're in a fight, it's obviously a huge penalty because you're going to lose those victory points. However, it starts at a value of 1. And if I have it and there's a tie, I can give it to you to win the tie. And it only can be transferred once per tie, so it can't go back and forth. If I give it to you, I have to increase its value by 1. So now it's worth 2. At the end of the game, those are scored as victory points for whoever holds it. So as the rounds go on, this gets like so much more important. Like at the first round, you don't care, you're sending it back and forth. Second round, you may be thinking about it more. By the third round, and this thing's worth 5 or 6 victory points, you do not want to give that away because you're like, oh, I got to hold it, but man, I need to win. So there's a lot of like anguish.
Interesting.
So it gets more weighty as the game goes on.
Because I immediately saw a die, I thought we were going to be rolling it, but no.
There's no chance in this game at all. So it's pure strategy, pure thinking. The only randomness is which decision did you make and which decision did I make. So this die goes to whoever has the highest power first. So you would start with it. So you're already up 1 point. Where the game did, now you win.
I'm winning.
Yeah, you win. So now we resolve battle abilities and legacy abilities, and then we actually do combat. So for battle abilities, highest ability always goes first in any phase.
That'd be you.
So my 8, this says I may move this combat to another face-up location.
Because you're on a horse.
Because I'm a knight, I'm a horse. And I'm like, so just for giggles, I'm going to go over here and say, hey, I want to fight for this higher value point because I think I'm way higher than you.
Which at the moment I have on defense.
Correct. Now you would come with me, so I move the whole fight. So now we're fighting over this. Now you get to trigger your battle ability.
Which is I can return my champion to play and trigger its ability instead.
Correct. So if you were to do that, now so let's kind of explain this. This is one of the more complicated rules. She would come into play. The druid would join you. You trigger her ability. She can rearrange my legacy pile. So that really wouldn't do anything. I only have 1 card. But then you get half of its power rounded up, added to yours. So you would be a 7 to my 8. So you'd still be losing.
Right.
But I move, and you don't get this bonus because this is for druids, but the pally is the one that's actually fighting here. So that would only get you to 7.
So I wouldn't do so well in that battle.
Yeah,
that's right.
So and you might not want to use it because her legacy ability.
So
you don't have one for the discard pile, so this is optional. So it's a may.
So we'd say I'm going to be losing this fight.
Yeah. So you say you bring her over because her legacy's not going to do anything anyway. So you're a 7 now because you're 4 plus 3. I'm an 8. I still got to do my ranger ability, which says you may rearrange the face applications in any order I choose. So if I was losing, I could make this one of the ones. If I was winning, I could bring a higher one up. So technically, I would win this fight. So 8 to 7.
Right.
So I won. And so I would gain a victory point. So on our score trackers here,
yep,
we
got
just slide it down,
little
boom.
card score tracker thing.
So now I'm at 1, you're at 0.
0!
So now, yeah, technically tied if the game we're in. So now these characters become over here, and we stagger them so that you can always see.
And then off we go.
And so this is always perfect information. So now I know what your next ability is. You know what my next ability is, and then we choose.
For the ones that cause
correct.
things to rearrange, I would know what's in there,
Exactly.
and you wouldn't have to remember.
So the only piece of the puzzle now, and so we know what's out. We're both fighting over the next one. I think I did that wrong, but the next one, and now we make a new choice.
All right.
And that's how it goes.
That is quick to learn.
It's creating those combos. Really a strategy game. As soon as both players are familiar with it, really interesting on the layer and depth that it has.
Well, I certainly hope you keep having a good trend here at Gen Con, and so we look forward to seeing this on Kickstarter.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
There we go. On the nose. Oh, I really love this artwork.